All right, we live. What is going on, YouTube? It is Karma Speaks back with another video. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to be reacting to a video from this gentleman, Ian Dunlap, or Earn Your Leisure, actually, and Ian Dunlap was on it. I actually saw this video last year at some point, but it popped up into my mind, and I thought I might as well react it, with you guys so that you guys can sort of get the insight that I have when I watch different people and I hear different things. So this is gonna just be on saving your first $100,000. Of course, making 100K is really cool for, most people, even for myself. If I'm able to make $100,000 in a year, that's fantastic. But the truth is, it's not about what you earn, it's about what you keep, right? And so many people will have a fantastic income, but they won't keep a dollar, right? I know so many people that are just fiscally illiterate or fiscally irresponsible, and they'll make 100 and then spend 100. So we're going to be going over that just to give you a brief, overview of what I personally think about saving your first 100,000. It is something that you must do, especially before you take on crazy responsibilities. It's why I'm working so hard to reach it, is because before I even consider getting married, settling down, having a family, doing anything, I need that $100,000 as a cushion, because you can't start to take on responsibility and take care of parents and kids and wives and all this stuff if you don't have stability to take care of them, right? And they'll talk about this in this episode, but I really think that a lot of young guys, like such as myself, in their early 20s, mid 20s, even late 20s, need to lock in a little bit more, because life is only getting more and more expensive. And right now $100,000 seems to be worth $10,000 a couple years ago, but that's just me personally. Anyways, let's get into it. We'll react to this video and get stuff popping.
Ian, I wanted to talk to you about something. You went viral. Shout out to Spiritual Word.
Oh my God. Shout out to the good folks over there.
Well, you said 100 to 200,000 is no real money. You would you won't feel secure until you have 600,000 to $1 million tucked away. What does this mean? And why do you think that was so triggering for a lot of people? And can you explain what you meant by that?
Do you guys think that 600K is a little crazy? I get it. I think that they should also preface, like, by what age or what point in life do you have to be at? Because you can't expect like an 18-year-old to have 600K saved up, right? What point is it, 600 to $1 million before you feel like, okay, like, now we got a good base? You guys let me know.
I'm not trying to be a villain no more in 2024. Mike, put us back in screen. I need some good favors before we go to Davos. We're a team. Okay. My job is to tell the truth no matter what. So like, I know some people got bothered by it, and every time I post this, people get upset. But the truth is, like, if you're taking care of people, like, and if we just look at elderly care, if you ever had a family member that had assisted living that was an elder, for those of you who don't know, it ranges from $6,000 a month to $20,000 a month.
Crazy, right? Numbers.
If you have a kid that goes to college, those expenses are there. And especially, I feel like as soon as we began to invest in real estate, crypto, stock market, we began to have these conversations at scale, all of a sudden inflation ramped up to a level that we could not keep up with. So my job as a truth teller is, even if it's not the popular thing to say, I would rather you know how much money that you need to have in order to feel secure, opposed to, and some of you told me this, hey, as soon as I got to 100 grand saved, now the value of my dollars dropped, and the 100 grand doesn't feel, or the 50 grand or the 20 grand.
That is a great point, because that literally happened with me, where it's like, I had never touched 10 grand before, never saved it, never probably even seen it. And as soon as I reached that milestone, it felt like I had absolutely nothing. Like I had a good savings, but it felt like I had absolutely nothing. And so going back beforehand, I would see everybody's parents, my parents, whoever it is, talk about, making 6 figures in a year as if it's the end all be all. And even on YouTube, I would watch these creators talk about, making your first 10K, make 10K a month, 10K a month. And that's just 120,000 a year, right? Which is great money. But now when you look on YouTube, it's people talking about 100 grand a month or 50 grand a month or 30 grand. 10 grand a month isn't even like impressive anymore, right? No matter what age you are, because I just saw a video the other day of like, I'm 19 and I make 80,000 a month. Like, that's absolutely insane. But like, truth is, yeah, the value of your dollar goes way down. You can't get anything. I mean, they'll talk about actual implications in today's society, but real talk, like, it's like things are so expensive. You can't, like in my last video, you can't purchase a house without bringing $200,000 down or making $15,000 to $20,000 a month at a minimum, right? You can't buy a house with that, at least in my area in New York. So it's like, yeah, 10 grand a month is cool, but like after a certain point, now you got to make adult money, because 10 grand is like you're making good money for like kids, right? I'm making good money for kids, but I'm not making good money for adults. Good money for adults is when you make 30 grand a month plus, and 30 grand is the minimum for good money. Again, really quick before you jump back into this. Yesterday, I had taken my lady to a party that I was shooting, photographer. And it was a very affluent type party, right? Lots of rich people. And she had never seen anything like it. And she was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, she was scared because it definitely gave off like rich, like Diddy type vibes. Like, they wanted to touch people. But like, she was like, yo, people really live like this. Like, it's not just on TV, and it's not, just on social media. It's real life. And I get to see it all the time because, I'm always shooting these events. I have, acquaintances and other clients that, we're also buddy with. So I just go over there and I just kind of hang out and whatever, network. So I'm at these events and I see the type of people that are there. And so it's always interesting to see, wow, these people really make 10, 15, $100 million a year. And I'm making $10,000 a month, and I'm clapping my hands, basically have shit in my hands and clapping together, And only reason I say this is because the reason why I work so hard and I'm trying to get rich is because I've been exposed to so much of it, right? A lot of people can't say that they've been exposed to that level of wealth. They're so in their box, right? A hood dude on the street isn't going to get invited to an event or a party with $1 billion there, right? It's just not going to happen. So they're never ever like really exposed to that type of wealth. Because I see it almost like every other day, my mindset is that's somewhat normal. And I'm an underclassman and I need to get to that level. I don't think of myself as doing better than all the broke people. I think of myself as doing the absolute worst of all the rich people, and I need to do better to get to their level. You see like the different like mindsets between the two? Because now I have something to go after. If I'm the best of a group of poor people, I have nothing to chase after. I've already reached the top, the pinnacle. But when I compare myself to other rich people or really wealthy people, now I have something to go after. You get me? Anyways, let's move on.
Feel like that. So maybe people get triggered by it because it feels like as soon as you make headway, they change the rules. But this is why it's important for us to have these conversations on a weekly, for you guys to invest every week, every month. So we know the rules are going to change for us, but I would rather us be prepared about what things really cost. Once again, Ross told you in an interview on AOL, if he had how much money, he would be terrified. 10 million, he would be worried.
Yeah. I'm
so
be honest.
Conversations that we get to have privately, yeah. I'm just reporting the information back to you. And also telling you, like, for some people, I also know when they made their first 100 grand, I've had people tell me like, yo, I thought this would feel like a lot more. And it's not. So if you're actually taking care of your family, taking care of your kids, you're looking out for other friends, loaning friends out money when they need it, 100 grand isn't what it used to be. It's my last one, I swear to God.
But is it? I'm gonna be honest. When I read that, I initially thought somebody making 100 to 200,000. I'm like, oh, all right, is that no real money? Okay. And then now that you're saying that's saved, would you say that making or saving that first 100,000 is the hardest?
Absolutely.
Right.
That's the most challenging.
Yeah.
10 grand, and then after the leap from 10 to 100,
Like one of the hardest
that is
things.
the hardest leap that you have to make.
Yeah.
But as a man, if you have family, you have children, you have to be able to get to a place where your family has some security, and it takes sacrifice. It takes sacrifice, and I would rather tell you that. And if prices of homes have went up, like, there's no new cars available for under 40 grand. Regular cars are now 40 grand.
A little
So
bit
if
cap.
homes are increasing,
30.
price of chips are increasing,
30 grand.
price of college tuition is increasing. What do you want me to do? Lie to you? I'm sorry. It's jarring to me. So even where I'm at now, the conversations that we get to have, it's like, yo, if you don't get to 100 in your lifetime or 200 million in your lifetime, you wasted your talent. All this, you the greatest investor.
That's kind of crazy. 200 million is kind of insane. It's doable though. It's for sure doable. But it's like so insane to like just see that perspective. Like we were talking about 100,000 and now it's like 200 million. You wasted your potential at that. And that's kind of crazy. But there was something in there that I liked what he said was that, you know, the responsibilities part, sending your kids to school, you can't get a car for under 40K. You can get one for 30K. You can get one for 30K. 40K is like probably like the middle, like that's the median price of a car, a new car. What I liked is that I feel like you should be able to cash out on your kids' tuition, on a car, on any of those other types of expenses. I don't think you should have to get into debt to really make those types of purchases or those types of investments. My camera's dying, but I don't think you should have to get into debt to pay for that. My lady's dad cashed out on her college, straight up, like just 30 grand a year, just like throw it at your face. Now, of course, from what I've heard from my lady, he's not, you know, financially responsible, but he makes enough money to where he could still just overcompensate and just throw money at the problem. And so that's where I feel like we should start to get to as, you know, a culture, like, you know, just American people in general, because a lot of us do make enough money over our careers to do that at a certain point, but we're so financially irresponsible and so eager to just spend money, do things, live life, do all this stuff that we miss the mark on it. You end up being 40, 45, and then not being able to send your kids to college, and then your kids are in debt, and then the cycle just restarts because they're starting off below the threshold, below the starting point. It's so much easier for me because I'm able to save money so much because I didn't start off with student loan debt. I had zero student loan debt. If there was anything, it was because they, you know, granted me too much money. But I didn't have any student loan debt because I didn't go to school. So now I'm starting from zero and I get to grow from there. I get to stay at home, so I get to just grow from there. But everybody is so eager to move out and then, you know, lose their apartment because they can't afford it. And then now they got to get out of debt with that, or they're just going to be, you know, their credit's going to be terrible for 7 years. People are in student loan debt. They can't afford their student loan payments. They're in car debt. I'm in car debt, but it's like, that's my only debt that I have. That's the only debt I have is my car payment. And so I'm able to get ahead because I don't have any debts, and I'm able, like my parents were able to orchestrate things to where it's working out in my benefit. Though they may not have had the financial ability to just give me money, it's like, okay, you got a place to stay and you don't got to really pay too much in bills. Up until this last year, I didn't really have to pay much of anything. My brother left, and then, yeah, I took on the responsibility. But for the most part, for a decent 2-3 years, I was able to just sit, learn, think, figure out, like, you know, just become a better person. There are tons of books right there, which all helped me to develop my financial skills, grow as a person, you know, learn what it is to be a man, all that kind of stuff. I read all of them. There's like over like 30 books right there, and I read them all. And that's what I did in my time after high school, you know? So to his point, like, yeah, bro, you need to save 100, and you need to save a lot more than that, because you want to be able to cash out on a car. You want to be able to cash out on your kids' schools. If you have multiple kids, you want to cash out on any deductibles for, you know, car accidents, hospital bills, whatever. You don't want to have to get into debt for it. Again, camera's about to die, so I appreciate anybody that watched this. Hopefully this video was a little bit informational or whatever have you. Appreciate anybody that watched this. Peace.